goes. All right,
There it
we're
goes.
live with our
Okay, we're live.
guest as Larfleeze.
Okay. Uh, awesome.
I'm
I'm trying
surprised
to.
you didn't have a guest that was like from the Robotech crew or something for this one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very similar.
did not think about
I'm trying to.
Mm.
There it is.
Although-
Okay, now I can put this up.
Although I think that would get us into trouble.
that.
Perhaps.
I mean, what
yeah.
won't get us into trouble? Who published this game?
17-bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who used to
they're
be Team
probably fine
17.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but if you used a Robotech person, you would get into trouble with whoever owns
Former
Robotech.
Sega Japan developer. Oh yeah, we're getting blocked.
Oh, great.
All right.
So we'll go as long as we can, I guess. This is
Yeah, we've been live
This
ever
is-
since I said we were live. By the way.
Yeah, no, I get it. I was just trying to get the rest of my crap set up, and I mean, here we are. It's fine. There's nobody watching anyway, so what do they care?
What do you care, Internet? This is what we think of you.
This is a great way to start the stream.
Yeah.
Hey, there's nothing better than a cold open. I love cold opens in all my podcasts.
Yeah.
That works fine.
Oh, hey, I see you got your room set up back there too. Right on.
Getting there.
Cool. Okay, well, anyway, to the subject at hand, I am Scroo. What's up, everyone? This is the Twinstiq Game Club. With me, I have Grey Wolf. Hello, Grey
Hello
Wolf.
there. Hi there.
And as always, I've got also Yoda,
Hello.
who has
I'm
just
Yoda.
moved
Yeah.
and broken his arm and got a new place and is getting set up. And he finally got internet, so here we are doing a podcast. Word. Okay, so this is a podcast about Galak Z, according to the Steam page, this is a 2D space combat simulator. That's not true at all, except to say that it is a 2D space combat game. It's definitely there's no simulation involved.
Yeah. Definitely not a simulator game.
I hesitate to call it a bullet hell because there's no like you're not dodging a lot of stuff. It's just moving around an environment, collecting things, and shooting bad guys. It's fun, and I also hesitate to call it a shoot 'em up because there's just not enough going on for that. So arcade space shooter.
It's like
It's
if
fun.
Metal Slug required finesse. That's how I'm going to describe
Sure.
it.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. That's pretty close.
Their CEO describes it in a stupid way. Do we want to give what their CEO describes it
Sure.
as? Modern
Sure.
Halo and Far Cry 3 combat in a two-dimensional shell. I don't know what game he was playing.
Yeah, that's not true at all. I voted for this game because it was fun as crap and it's
It
inexpensive.
is. It's very fun.
The artwork is great. It has cool little sort of 80s style anime characters.
Yeah, it looks like if Beast Wars still looked good with their cel shaded animation and stuff.
Yeah.
It does look like a Saturday morning 3D cartoon. It's cool.
Yeah, and I think it's actually built to resemble that because if you go into any of the option menus, you see like basically it's like you recorded your Saturday morning cartoons in the 80s
On a
when you were a kid.
VHS tape, yep. I got the classic VHS font for all the menus, and it like makes the screen fizzle out like the film is being
It's
processed
paused.
through. Yeah, it's cool.
Really neat. Yeah. So, but anyway, there's not a whole lot. Like most of the games that I have bring onto this channel, there's no political anything going on here. There's nothing, but it's just a good time, and
There's no deep existential crisis.
yeah, there's nothing really going on here except that this guy you play as ATAC. Now they tell his full name, Adam Takamoto, I think is what it is, shortened to ATAC, and he's the last survivor along with this one ship in the fleet, battling the Empire. Okay, that's about all
And
I
he's
know
a
about.
brand new recruit who has no combat
Yeah.
kills, and the lady gives you much shit for it.
Yeah, she makes sure to point that out. But apparently, luckily, you're amazing because you are, as a player, are good at this game, or not. Because it's pretty difficult, actually.
It is very difficult.
The first 5. This works in seasons. The game works in what they call seasons. Basically, there are 5 missions at a time, and you play 4 sets of those. And then there are a couple of little endless mode like playtime, and it's fun. You go through, you get upgrades, you shoot lasers at stuff, things blow up, you collect salvage, you buy more upgrades for your ship. It's good. Mm-hmm. So I played through to the second season. The second season is too hard for me. Just straight up. I will continue playing it though, because it's an awful lot of fun. So when you start the second season, spoilers from here on out, of course, just like every other game club, when you start the second season, your ship allows you to turn into a mech. So you can turn into a Robotech style Gundam robot with like a laser sword and a shield, and you can fly around. And the combat mechanics change a lot, and the flight characteristics change a lot, and you can change back and forth at will. I have a lot of fun with it, even though I'm not very good at it. So what did you guys think? Did you play it at all? Did you watch playthroughs?
I thankfully got to play it just a little bit this morning for the first time. I only played the first 2 missions and died too many times in that second mission than I care to admit. But I did have a lot of fun with it, and I'll probably keep going until I hit that skill wall like you're talking about, because I'm pretty interested in the story, and the characters are pretty endearing. The voice acting was quite surprising too. They're actually really well done. I was trying to find
it's not bad at all.
Who they were, but I can't find it anywhere. But I'll keep digging.
Just the right amount of camp.
Mm-hmm. This feels like an old Sonic episode. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. I actually feel like the game's pretty well put together. What do you think, Gray?
So when I saw it, because I looked it up and I thought, okay, well, I'm interested enough to see what it's like before, tripping into buying it. And then immediately I knew that it wasn't going to be the kind of thing that I could buy and play, because I'm bad at this style of thing. But my first immediate impression of it was pretty much like you were saying. It's like, what if an 80s cartoon became a game? And specifically, like, my original impression of it was thinking,
Speed Racer in space.
or if Robotech could have been bent just a little bit, this is what it would come out like. And then the other thing that immediately occurred to me when I was looking at it and watching someone else play it was, it has a very strong asteroids field. It reminds me a lot of asteroids. And I like that. I mean, really it does. And that was the one thing that made me go, I don't think that I can play this, because I would be bad at it and I wouldn't get very far, because of the way the ship controls. So, for people who never played people who never played Asteroids, the way Asteroids works is that you are given a finite amount of thrust. Now, this game doesn't do that. You can have infinite thrust. But the way it works is that the thrust carries you around the playing field, and the thrust then determines how close you get to obstacles and what you can shoot. But the problem is, and this requires a twin stick, by the way, you do need 2 joysticks. Oh, not 2 joysticks.
For this game? I don't think so.
No, sorry.
That's true, because the second stick is just for the camera, and I never really used it that much, just sitting on the couch with a controller. I just moved along slowly and shot people.
Yeah, right. But for people who played Pong, you'll remember that it had 2 sticks, and the one was controlling your thrust, and the other one was controlling the way you moved. So this felt and looked a little bit like that. And that was why I instantly knew that I would never be able to play it, because I was terrible at asteroids. Like, abysmal. I'd fly into asteroids and get myself killed, and oh my god. And thank God in that game it was only asteroids. There weren't too many other ships. There wasn't bullets to contend with. This game has bullets to contend with, so
but that's it. Asteroids don't hurt you.
No, asteroids
bumping into stuff doesn't hurt you, no matter how fast you're going. Thank goodness.
Which is actually a great dynamic and mechanic, because sometimes you need to you need to get out very quickly, because if you're not very mindful of your surroundings, things can creep up on you and they can blow you up pretty quickly. And so, one of the things that I saw that the guy do who I was watching was, and it was pretty smart. He was just backing away all the time and shooting, backing away and shooting, backing away and shooting. And that I feel is like the only safe way to play this game. And so I knew instantly it wasn't going to be a game I could play. But I love the aesthetic of it because, like I said, it reminds me very much of an 80s cartoon if you ran it through asteroids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Really cool arcade feel to it, which I like a lot, actually. It feels like something you're going to drop a bunch of quarters in to keep going.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do like the, like I said earlier, I really like the art in this, backgrounds and stuff. The ship art, the stuff inside, like what we're seeing right now on the stream with Beam, and that it's okay. That's just some, some hand-drawn, cell-shaded stuff, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But when you're in the game itself, things look really cool. They've got really nice environments. The lighting is cool. The effects are great. So I really enjoy that. The voice acting, as Cody was saying, is pretty good, and there is a story here, which is neat.
Yeah, there is. And that's the other thing I wanted to remark on. I love the way that they break it up into seasons and episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a
really focusing in on that cartoon feel.
Yeah. You get a mission, you do the mission, you come back, you get a little bit of exposition. And I think that that's a great conceit for a game like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the time with games like this, what they try and do is they try and shoehorn the story in on top of what it is you're doing right now. And unfortunately, what that means is you're trying to dodge bullets and kill things, and someone's talking to you over the radio and they're expositing and saying story stuff, and you're like, I don't care. Get me to the next space station so I can refuel.
Right. Yeah.
And this game does it perfectly, because what it does is literally you get your debriefing, and your debriefing moves the story along, and it's perfect. It works so well. Yeah,
pretty good stuff. And
it's nice too, because the missions aren't like super long either. So if you lose at like the end of one, you've really only lost like 10 minutes at the most. And so like I was like, maybe have like a checkpoint, and then I was like, wait, why? I barely spent any time here. It's totally fine.
Yeah,
I don't really need that.
And the worst thing is, if you do lose a mission, any upgrades you picked up in that mission are gone. But that's it. Anything before that is still permanent. It's there. And if you choose to do a quick restart, you might get a different mission altogether. You can go back and choose to continue the same mission if you wish.
Mm-hmm.
And there are lots of ways actually to play it. Now the environments, so far at least, aren't the bit of a drawback here is that the environments don't really change very much. They are basically you're just in a big asteroid, flying around in a cave, shooting at bad guys. There are some interesting environmental hazards like lava. Lava is terrible, by the way. If you haven't been killed by lava.
I got hit by lava. It is the worst. I don't like it. Put it that way.
There's an upgrade. There's an upgrade for your ship. You actually get heat sinks, so fire and lava don't hurt you anymore. You can just fly right into it and use it tactically to your advantage. You can, because if you shoot lava, it explodes. It comes out all over the place. So if ships are chasing you, if you have heat sinks, you just shoot it and drive through, and they all die, and it's great.
No wonder the voice acting is good. The voice actress who voice acts the lead lady in this game was Sam from Gone Home.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And the dude who voices Chet was one of the Venture Brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
Why not?
Awesome. Yeah. So, I don't know that there's just a whole lot going on here, other than, like I said, this is just a really fun. It's difficult. You have a few things to do.
The guy I was watching eventually started struggling with it, and I mean, he was. I am our resident old man. I am ancient, and so I know that I would struggle. And he was, much younger and had better reflexes. And he was, towards the end there, he was starting to get hammered by just how hard it is.
Yeah, it's tough. But I found This is my footage, by the way, that's playing my first mission and tutorial and all this stuff. And I found really that just going slow, being methodical, and use your brakes. The ship has brakes.
Yeah, you need to use those a lot, especially for those bubbles that take your shields away. That shit's not fun.
Yeah.
No. If there's one complaint I have with this game, it is that while the walls don't hurt you, which is a great aesthetic, there's lots of other stuff that is difficult to control in an environment that does hurt you. You know.
Yeah.
So it takes one hazard away and then doles out a bunch of others. Like the lava is always a problem. The bubbles are always a problem. And I wanted to say earlier when you were talking about the checkpoint system, I do actually think that this is a game that could benefit from something like that. But the way I would set it up is I would set it up with maybe 2 or 3 different checkpoints, but at different story-related bits. Because what almost always happens is you go in, you do something, and then they go, oh no, wait, sorry, this is not what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to do this.
Yeah,
and that is the point where I would put a checkpoint.
Yeah, and unfortunately the only option you have for anything like that is basically the difficulty option that they have is you either get checkpoints between each mission or between each season. So if you die at any time in a season, you have to restart or restart missions. And I think you're right. A third option with maybe at least 1 checkpoint per mission would have been nice.
Maybe at a halfway point or something.
Halfway point, or if there's a boss battle right before the boss battle, have a checkpoint.
That's true. It would be nice to not have to fight a boss over and over again. Yeah. Although
just to have that option for people like us who are not too great at finesse in games like this, because it does require a lot of pinpoint accuracy and good timing and stuff like that, which is good that it runs well, because if it didn't, it would be the most frustrating thing in the world.
One of the things I do also want to mention, you're talking about the accuracy, is that there is no such thing in this game as a reticule. There's no such. There probably is eventually a thing that will allow you to auto aim and upgrade, but you have to do so much without the auto aim that it really does require you being. And some of your weapons are fixed resource weapons. Like you get missiles, but you only have so many. Yeah. And so the thing is that it becomes like an old AD&D juggling match. Do I use my spells now? Do I use them later? If I don't use them, and one of the things that I don't know if this does, because I wasn't paying too much attention, is I don't know if your stuff carries over. So
it carries from mission to mission, but not season to season.
Yeah, and that's a huge problem. So
I agree with that.
You've amassed a whole lot of stuff in the missions previous, and then you go to a new season, and suddenly, for no good reason, most of the time
you're back to square one. That is a huge problem. I think that's a
pretty big bummer, actually.
I think that's probably why the game is so much harder. Now, what happens though is through your seasons to balance that out a little bit. Now, I don't know why they didn't just give you your upgrades. I feel like they should have, but to sort of balance that out, you get a crash coins. These little purple coins, and when you go back to the ship, the Archelios, I don't think that's right. When you go back to the ship and you start a new mission, Crash, the guy you get your gear from, will buy your coins from you for a lot of scrap, and then you can buy new upgrades that he's got there. But they're not consistent. They're always different. So you might not get the same ones you had.
Yeah.
You're going to find more in the stages that you're on, but if you fail a stage, then you're going to try again and again, and that gets a little annoying.
Yeah. And I feel like it's for a game that is. I understand what they're doing. They're trying to replicate the feel, like you said, of an arcade shooter. Yeah. And that's why they're doing that. But the thing is that it just does the same thing and a lot of RPGs do this. If the RPG is in a string of RPGs, Ultima 1, 2, and 3, when you start Ultima 2, you're starting from scratch. It's very frustrating. And it's unfortunately a case where this dev could have learned from those mistakes, where they could have said, okay, you know what? We want you to be comfortable with the ship, because that's what happens. You play a season, you become comfortable with the ship, and you come to Wars how it flies, and you
Yeah,
come to
you've got
Wars
your
how
own
it shoots.
gameplay style, and then suddenly
And
that one
then
goes
suddenly
away.
they just rip it all away from you.
Yeah,
and I
and
feel
they
like
say, okay, start over now.
Does the second season have like completely different game mechanics and enemies and maybe like
Yeah, they
environment
do.
types and stuff like that? Because that
They
might
have.
it would be worth
They
it
do
if at
add
least
some
the
stuff,
game
yeah.
changes drastically.
They do add some stuff. I can't say it's drastic. The next season adds like old big giant derelict ships that you're going through, as well as asteroids. And there's also new enemy types, the raiders, with different like more difficult ships. Like that's what we needed with no upgrades, right? But,
Yeah, that's sort of a strange.
but
It is.
the cool balance is that the mech, right? The mech is much more powerful than just the ship.
Yeah.
The mech has a grabber. He can grapple things and pull them to him, and then throw them at enemies. So you can grab asteroids and throw
and then
them
toss them.
at enemies, or grab enemies and just slash at them with your sword.
Yeah.
If you use the action button, you'll pull up a shield that'll block stuff from the front, so it adds to your shield. And there are more upgrades too, for more speed upgrades and damage for your sword, and so you can use environmental things to your advantage, like explosive barrels. You can grab those and then throw them at enemies, and you might take out 5 ships. So it sort of balances things out in that manner. But the way the mech controls, it's bigger and it feels more massive. So he's not as nimble.
Yeah.
So I mean, it gives you something else to get used to, and it's still really fun. Like I say these things as it's a complaint, but it's not really a complaint. It's just something that I need to be, I have to get used to. But again, it is sort of a complaint, because once you get used to it, and the season's over, then you got to start over again. That's
And like I said, that's problematic, because you get used to what you're doing, and suddenly they just rip it all away from you and go, oh, by the way, now you got to start from scratch. And that's a design that I've never liked in games like this. So to see them miss this opportunity is kind of sad, because it's the kind of thing where you get so familiar with the characters and you get so familiar with the environments that the fact that you can't trust your ship from season to season is actively detrimental to the aesthetic of the game.
Yeah. Because I mean, you spend all this time, and if you look in the upgrade screen, there's no limit to how many upgrades you can have.
Right. Yeah.
So having them torn from you is a big deal. It doesn't seem like it needs to. Now maybe third season on that doesn't happen. I don't know. I've never made it that far. Maybe you keep them at that point. Maybe the whole point was. At the start of the second season, you basically get your ass handed to you, and then you pick up this big power core thing that makes your mech available. But during that time, you're really getting beat up, and you damn near die. So maybe that's why. Maybe it's a story element, and they're just not presented properly. I don't know.
Could be. It still feels awkward,
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm gonna continue playing on with it until I hit that skill gap and see if maybe I can get past it, because I am interested mainly because of the story, and I mean the art style is so endearing.
Yep.
and for mainly nostalgic reasons, I'll admit. But I mean, come on, it's fun. That's what video games are supposed to be for, right? So.
Yeah, it's fun. I have a good time with it. I like it. I like it a lot. And the mech thing, because that's the first time I'd ever made it to season 2, was when we played this for GameClub. I was like, oh, awesome.
You told me that, and I was like, oh, well, yeah, I gotta get there then. That sounds freaking cool. So at least they give you a whole new ship, which makes sense why your upgrades would go away, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, it's not a new ship. It's that ship.
Yeah, it's just now it's a mech.
Right. Also, you can transform back and forth at will. So it doesn't cost you anything. There's no energy requirement or power bar to fill up or something like that. It's just.
I am genuinely super glad that they went that way, because again, it just reinforces the aesthetic thing that I was talking about earlier, where it reminds me very much of Robotech and that kind of thing, and that's just awesome that they're leading into their their aesthetic so hard. They're just like, well,
Oh yeah.
we're making a Saturday morning cartoon. Let's just go all out and give you Robotech things.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
It's great.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I never do it, I guess, in this. I've forgotten all about it, but there's a dodge button. I'm using a mouse and keyboard. So for me, it's spacebar.
Yeah.
And that shoots your ship up so you can avoid all
dodge missiles. It's got a
one
very
great thing about this
long
game.
cooldown time, though, so you can't just dodge
Yeah.
over and over again. You have to time really hard-hitting shots.
Right, and again, it's that D&D dilemma. When do I use the dodge? But it's great because what it does is because this game is basically a 2D game, and that particular mechanic makes it feel a little bit 3D, just enough that it changes the way you play it a little bit, and that's cool because it's a new twist on like other mechanics that we've seen in other games like this, where what they will sometimes do, instead of giving you a jump like this, they will give you a flatten out button where you flatten your ship out and then things just shoot by you.
Yep.
You know, and so it's a nice, again, conceit that they know that you're playing it and it's 2D, but to add an element of 3D into the game, they give you the jump button, and it's cool.
Yeah, it's really fun to it's fun to do, and I don't know what you mean by cooldown. I'm able to do it just over and over again. I don't have that issue, but that jump button is the shield for the mech. If you hold that down, you'll just pull up a big energy shield.
Oh, that's cool.
Right.
And it blocks everything for a little while. It'll eventually wear down, just like your shield.
Yeah, until the shield gets bumped down. Okay. No, that sounds fun. I can't wait to get there.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Hopefully, I'll be able to actually play anything. I do wish that you could, if not have another difficulty for checkpoints, like maybe lower the damage difficulty or something so that people who are interested in watching your Saturday morning cartoon can just breeze through it nice and easily.
Yeah.
Because it does kind of clash with this really hardcore rogue light, which I hesitate to call it, but it kind of is.
It kind of is. One of the things that I like, I mean, I'm not crazy about modern gaming, but one of the things that I like in a lot of the modern games is that they're embracing that particular player. A lot of them are saying, okay, well, we'll take away the ability for you to, say, get achievements or whatever, but you'll get to see the story.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish this game had run with that idea because, again, I'm very old, but the aesthetic appeals to me because it's stuff that I bumped into in the 80s. And so when I saw it, when I saw what it was doing, I was like, actually, that's pretty cool. And I would enjoy playing it, genuinely enjoy playing it. But the skill ceiling is so high that it makes me, and it's $10. It makes me not want to spend the $10 because it's just,
it makes you just want to go, well, I'll just go to YouTube then, and and that's not I know that I will hit the skill ceiling very early because my reflexes just aren't that good. And so it makes me sad that I can't give these guys $10. It genuinely makes me go, it's too bad because it's the kind of thing that I would say, awesome. You've got an aesthetic, you leaned into it, it's very cool. Here's money for you. Or at least have cheat codes. This seems like the perfect game that would embrace some classic stuff like that. Just give me infinite shields or infinite health or whatever. I can get through the rest of your crap with just that. That's fine. Maybe there are cheat codes. I don't know. I guess we could do some research.
There probably are. I know that they're kind of anti-cheat, at least for the horde mode stuff, because there's a leaderboard and everything, and they don't want people cheating for that. But yeah, I sort of agree. I think there are upgrades though. There to increase the maximum health of your ship and your shields permanently. There are temporary ones too, but there are permanent ones.
But the thing is that you have to actually play the game to get there. If there was, let's say, at the beginning of the game, you just entered the Konami code and suddenly you were broken. That would be a great way for people who don't want to mess with how fussy the game is to see the story. You know? Right.
There are no cheat codes. I don't really know of modern games that still do cheat codes aside from Rockstar games. Though.
No, because they try and sell you the cheat codes now.
No, that's true.
Oh, right, yeah.
Ugh. That's
Buy the Prima guide or something like that.
No, even worse. Some of them are just
no,
building it in.
There's some cheat codes for GTA 5 that you can't do unless you buy the cheat code DLC, basically.
Oh, that's pretty dumb.
And
Well,
like for example, in the Final Fantasy VII Steam version, you can buy like upgrades to your party and materia and.
Oh my god.
Well.
Well, I guess it's
gaming.
I'd rather it not do that then. So good on you, 7-bit gaming, 17-bit gaming. Thank you for not at least selling us cheat codes, but maybe have an easy difficulty for people like us who suck.
Yeah, it would be good for it. It would be good to have an easy mode.
Yeah.
I would appreciate it. I would give them the $10 if they just said, "Here's an easy mode, off you go."
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's super fun, but yeah, I can already see how this is going to be really hardcore, especially since I can't do a lot of twitchy stuff right now.
Yeah, right. This, by the way, is a Unity game. It's the same. Actually, feels very similar to Song of the Deep.
Nice.
The controls and thing actually feel very similar.
Yeah, I wonder if they're using Unity's 2D engine, because that came out not too long before this game came out. So
yeah, it's entirely possible. It just says, powered by Unity. I don't know much beyond that. I didn't research it because I don't do that kind of homework right now. Or I didn't. It's not that I don't, but I didn't this time. But anyway, yeah, this just I like it because it's fun. It's inexpensive. I don't really have that much of an issue with the problems that are given. I agree that there are problems, and I do wish that there was an easy mode because I really think they would benefit from it.
Yeah, that's really the only big issue I have with the game. I think the gameplay is fun. There's a lot of heart to everything about this game, and it's always nice to see that a developer cares so much about the thing they're making and embrace every aspect of that.
Well, you know something that's really cool about this that I don't see anywhere, actually, really anywhere. Is that every mission that starts, they credit the writer for the mission, right?
I know. I think that's super cool. It's like the TV. It's like TV episodes where they have to be like, this was the director and writer for this episode, and I think that's cool that they do that.
Yeah, it is.
That's
like I said,
a really cool thing.
It's great that they're leaning so hard into the aesthetic. I love it. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know that there's a whole lot else we can say about this. I don't know how long we've been going. About a half an hour or so.
Yeah, about half an hour,
which is over.
Which is about what I figured it would take to discuss the game's gameplay and stuff.
Yeah, right. This is it's. I'm not going to say brainless, but there's no like existential thought like you're thinking.
No.
Like, why am I here?
But it's great because that's the thing that it's leaning into. When you signed on for one of those cheesy 80 cartoons, there was no real politics. It was just there's a bunch of aliens, there's the humans, they're the last stand of humanity, and off they go. You know, like the most politics that I can remember in Robotech is occasionally, and I hated this every time it happened, Minmay would sing, and it would grind everything to a sudden halt. You know, and that was like the most politicky that show got. So it's awesome that they're not worrying about something like that. They're just making a game that throws back to those style of TV shows.
Yeah. Super fun. I'm gonna just go to it. I would totally recommend this. I think it's really good. I think 100%. If you do have an issue with the problems that are available or that are presented to you, like not having checkpoints and no easy mode and that kind of thing, then wait for a sale. Wait for half off. I think it's worth $5. I am surprised to learn that it's not on GOG. I thought it would.
Yeah, me too.
No, that's strange because there is a physical version of the game. In April 2016, they joined forces with Indie Box, which is like a loot crate for indie games.
Yeah.
And they have a physical release of Galak Z through that, which is a USB drive with a DRM-free copy of the game. So it's strange that they were willing to do that, but not include DRM-free copies on. I mean, maybe they're just submitting it through the process of GOG right now. That was April 2016, and GOG does take a while to
just
get
isn't there yet.
stuff through. So
yeah,
I'm sure they'll get there eventually.
Yeah,
and clearly they're okay with DRM-free. So
yeah,
and I know for a fact that there's an audience for that game on that particular website, and that
it would be perfect for the types of games that go along with most of GOG's library.
Yep, absolutely.
So the last question I would have for you guys, well, you didn't actually play it, Gray, but for you, Cody, being as that you're somewhat handicapped at the moment with a broken arm, how was it playing this for you? Did you find it?
Oh wow,
it was fine. I just used the controller because twitching on a mouse and keyboard isn't really a thing. Right. But it worked well. I don't know if there's a difficulty difference when you play it with a controller or not. I would hope so. But I haven't tried it on keyboard and mouse to confirm or deny that. But it worked pretty well. I was able to beat the first...
you didn't have any issues, though? No major issues.
Not really. I died a lot in the second mission, but I was able to beat the first tutorial and first mission pretty easily, and then the second mission was just a little harder. So
okay,
I think that's just the difficulty of the game now, more so than being able to use a controller for it. It worked well.
Right. So yeah, no, I didn't mean that to sound insensitive, Gray. Oh wow, just as a matter of for folks who might have an issue with using both hands or something like that as the mouse and keyboard or something that maybe it's still playable for you.
No, I was saying oh wow because I imagined that for Cody it was going to be a bit of a struggle, not oh wow. How can you ask him to talk about that? I just imagine that it would be, given his current situation, it might be a bit of a struggle to play.
Yeah, I would imagine it would be as well. But with a PlayStation controller, if you're using that, or an Xbox controller, I haven't actually used a controller for this game. I've always just used mouse and keyboard.
Right. Yeah. But you do that with a lot of games.
I do that for everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we've recommended you go play this when we were. We didn't play Brothers on this particular game club, but when we talked about it, you were like, "Oh no, you just use the mouse and keyboard." Like what?
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I did. I played Brothers with mouse and keyboard. Yeah, the whole time.
How the hell did you do that?
I don't understand. Yeah.
I didn't. Oh no, that's not true. That's not true. I'm thinking of something else. Brothers was with controlling both characters. No, you definitely have to have a controller for that game.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure because I think the way they have you do it on keyboard and mouse is they have you control WASD and the arrow keys.
Yeah,
brother each,
I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Probably doesn't have the same emotional impact when the stick stops working for you. Spoilers for the other game, by the way.
Right. Yeah, actually, but yes, I do prefer to, and that's something I was talking about with the Surge before I write a review for it. I'm going to play it with a controller because it's primarily a PlayStation 4 game.
Yeah, it is. And it got ported.
But the port is like perfect. So, but I want to play it. Anyway, I don't know that there's a whole lot else I can really say about this other than it's fun. I recommend it. The question prior to this was Cody's recommendation. He said he was going to. What do you think, Ray?
I'm going to go on record as saying that with the lack of a difficulty slider, I can't recommend it to people who are, older and terrible like me.
Right.
Sorry, other old people. It's just it requires too much dexterity, and if you don't have dexterity, it's going to be a war.
I think if you watch a video of maybe like a season 3 area and get the idea, okay, I could do that, or I might have trouble with that, then you can scale your own barometer then and go, okay, I'll just watch somebody else play through this or watch the story.
Absolutely. But that makes me, like I say, legitimately sad because these people deserve money for leaning into their aesthetic so hard.
Sure, yeah.
And so, I would say that if it goes on sale, then just give them the money, even though you'll never play it.
Well, at least give it a try.
The cool thing about
Might as
it, the cool thing also about this is that you can put this down and pick it up
Yeah.
weeks later, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
No.
it's not like a super hardcore RPG where you have to remember a whole bunch of things when you pick it up again. It's
don't have
just
to
you're
remember where you
floating
were,
in
there's
space and you
no
just blow
dialogue.
things up.
Yeah, yeah. It's really fun. I recommend it. I agree with you as far as a difficulty slider. That needs to be there. And yeah, definitely. If you're on the fence, wait for a sale. But I'd say pick it up. All right. So final thoughts. Anybody have any?
I'm glad
I
this
don't.
game exists.
Yeah, I'm glad this game exists. I look forward to playing it more until I feel like I can no longer continue, and then I will definitely watch the rest of the story on YouTube. So I can't complain that much. So
now I think because he's not here, I think we should talk about. George was saying that he really likes this. He got it for free on a PS bundle, I think. So he played a bunch of it and he really liked it.
That's cool.
So that's good. And yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I don't really think there's a whole lot to say. I think we've talked about Galak Z plenty.
yeah,
This is a PlayStation 4 game. If you have a PlayStation 4 and you don't want to get it on PC, get it on PlayStation 4. I think it's still out there. I assume it's probably the same price. I don't know. I didn't do the research.
Yeah.
Like I said.
PlayStation 4.
The guy with one available arm is
Yeah,
doing the typing.
I'm doing your research, sir. How much is it
Good.
on? How
It's
much?
$10 on Steam.
It's $10 on Steam. Wow, even PlayStation stores. It is $20 on PlayStation 4
Okay,
on the PS Network.
$20 on the PS. Yeah, all right. So if you have a PC, get it on PC. I'm not going to say this game is not worth $20. I'll say that.
No.
Yeah.
I'm
not a fan of
It
that.
was free apparently. PlayStation Plus services once.
Right.
Gaming Music here
That's
on
right.
YouTube is asking, what is the aim of the game? To kill people. The aim of the story is
Uh,
to basically tear down the Federation. Like
Right.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
plot basically is that you're the last surviving fleet against this evil empire, right? The quote unquote evil empire, and you're just the guy that's going to take them down. You're a new recruit with no confirmed kills, and you're it's a pretty standard story. You're
the
just
Resistance's last
you're the
hope.
chosen
Yeah,
one.
Yeah. And he's really
the one to
cocky
beat.
about how he's the chosen one, which is a nice change of pace from the, reluctant hero that you see out of most hero's journey stories like that. So I thought that was clever.
Yeah, he's I love his silliness.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I'm amazing, because that's my I say that kind of stuff.
It's a good
I have
thing
that
I'm
sort of
amazing.
sarcasm, so.
Yeah.
And that's literally like the way he speaks whenever you encounter him.
Yeah.
It's great.
And Beam's sarcasm is also cool. There's just before the first boss battle. There's like you have to recover something. I can't remember what it was.
Right.
So it's a silly name for some technology that they made up in the game, and it's like, the good news is we found it. The bad news is it's moving, and it's probably not in a giant bug or anything, right? So. And ATAC, of course, hates the space bugs. They're scary and they stink. And
I love how his name is literally just Attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam Takamoto. Yeah. But yeah, the aim is just to get through and warn Earth of the Empire's attack, because the Earth's fleet has been disappeared, destroyed perhaps, and progress. Defeat the Empire if possible. That seems to be the aim. Like I said, I've never beat it. I've never made it past where I'm at now. So,
yeah,
which is only season 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I doubt
but
I'll
yeah,
even get
I
that
do
far.
plan on-
So we'll see.
yeah, right. I do plan on keeping on playing it though. I've had this for a long time, and I played it for a little while, and then something else distracted me, and then getting back into it for GameClub was pretty cool because I'd forgotten how cool it was. So. Anyway, yeah, I think final thoughts. Otherwise, we've already done some final thoughts. So if there's anything else you guys want to add, otherwise we'll end it.
I've said all I can.
Okay. Well, I think I have too. Again, guys, if you're on the fence about this, wait for a sale. I think it's worth it. Don't buy it. Don't buy it for $20. That's silly. It's not worth that.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like Hungry Sharks with guns. Yeah, it's pretty similar. Yeah, all right, guys. Well, I think that's it then. Gaming music. Hey, thanks for stopping by. I think you're like the first guy that's stopped in here for like the,
for the game
year that
club,
we've been doing these.
Yeah, we're almost at 30 weeks of Game Club episodes, but next week we'll be talking about Corpse Party. Yes?
Yeah, that's gonna be George's game. Hopefully he'll be here for that.
Yeah, he'll probably won't be able to post it on the website until Monday or Tuesday since he's out of town. And then
that's right.
Obviously he'll need to be here to talk about it since he's the one who picked it. And he'll need to tell us why he picked it. Why we're playing a game called Corpse Party.
Yeah, he's real big into the horror genre, so I imagine it's probably something to do with that. I've actually seen Corpse Party once or twice before, but I've never paid attention to it. So
I had heard of it, but I have not seen anything about it, and so I'm just gonna walk in blind.
Yeah, me too. So cool. All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks Gaming Music for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and tell your friends and all that kind of stuff because we do this once. We try to do this once a week.
Once a week, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's possible.
Well, I mean, at least we didn't have like a 6-week gap like we had a couple of weeks.
Yeah, right. We had a huge one there for a while. But yeah, we do this, and it's
once a week.
Fun. Once a week.
Once a week on a Sunday, and usually at about this time.
Yeah. Yeah. So next, this will be the last one. George's game will be the next one, or the last one in this round, and then we'll pick new games.
And then we'll re-roll. Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, hey, thanks for joining us, guys. This has been Screw Loose with Twinstiq.com. This has been the Twinstiq Game Club. I've had Grey Wolf with me.
Goodbye, folks. Have a great week.
And Yoda also has been here, as always.
Have a good one, Internet.
And thanks, guys. Bye-bye.